All right, guys, we got another Spin That Shit podcast for you. Great guest today, Matthew Paige from DeeOhGee is with us. They're out of Nashville. Awesome band. They freaking will melt your face. They're good. They're good, talented individuals. If you love them, if you haven't heard them, check out their stuff. They're all over social media. They're currently on tour with Reverend Peyton and the Big Damn Band. In fact, we'll be seeing them here in a couple days this weekend. So, pumped about the show. We're going to talk about some new music, new record, all kinds of DeeOhGee good stuff. So stay tuned for that. Also, please like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff for us on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and we're on all streaming platforms now. That's new. That's current. We just recently have uploaded past episodes, so you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcast. I don't even really know. There's several of them. So we're out there. Find us. Tell your friends. And last but not least, the only thing that keeps this show going as far as money rolling in is the small donation that the public has provided. Link in the description. If you want to throw us a couple bucks, that'd be great. If not, share this. That's good enough. So let's dive in that with Matthew, and we'll see you next time.
What's up?
Yo, you made it.
I made it.
All right, man. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Just some professionals at work here.
Where should we start with this? Normally, we like to give a little background with our artist.
Cool.
If you want to start, kind of how you got into music and how the band formed and how it's changed and evolved into what it is today, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm living in Nashville now. I started in Portland, Oregon. That's where I'm from. That and Vancouver, Washington are kind of right next to each other. And I moved here when I was 19 and started this band called the Blackfoot Gypsies. And we were a band for about 10 years. And we recently just changed it to DeeOhGee. But for that 10 years, we signed with a couple of small record companies. We toured America mostly on our own in a pretty rundown van, playing most of the places. We started off with a two-piece band, just drums and guitar, and then we had Dylan and Ollie Dog join, which was bass and a harmonica player. And that was for about 4 years, and then we just went to a three-piece band, and that's where we are now. And we've been to Europe a couple of times. We opened for The Darkness across England and Europe, and that was playing with like in front of a few thousand people every night. A lot of times they didn't speak our language at all. We didn't speak their language, and that was a real trip. So I'm pro Europe and pro UK. That's a good time right there. But there are some things about America that I really value, like things being open past 9 o'clock at night. But other than that, we've been just hard grinding it, do it yourself, spray paint your own record covers, sell them out of the car, play to sometimes they're $200 night, sometimes it's a $2,000 night, and they could be back to back, and sometimes it's 0 people, sometimes it's a ton of people. I wrote a book called Band Life, Tips on How to Survive Life in a Band, and it basically it's taking most of the nuggets I've learned from the past 10 years, and I just put them into a book in, sort of a digestible pamphlet style. Because I had never seen anybody else just write down some of the simple stuff you don't think of that maybe a 17, 18, 30-year-old touring band member person might not think of, or might not think to do until they read it. So anyway, I did that, and that was pretty fun. I've been slowly leaving those in green rooms across America as we travel around.
That's awesome. I'll have to pick one of those up.
Give us
They're on eBay.
Two tips.
I'll
quick
send
tips.
you one.
Give us a teaser of a couple quick tips.
You're gonna want to eat more green stuff than brown stuff. You should carry your own pillowcase at least. You're gonna want to be more selective about the free places that you take to stay than you probably are gonna want to, no matter the budget. If you're on week 3 of touring, give everyone a wide margin of space.
Yeah.
Right around week 3, something
the
changes.
set time.
It goes from woo, we're doing this every day, every night. Right around week 3, it's like,
Damn. We're doing this every day.
If I have to see you reach for a salt shaker one more time like that, I'm gonna stab your hand. So I feel like there's something, and after week 3, it's all gravy. But I don't know, just little things that I picked up on that. And then just health, a lot of health, travel tips as far as like what to eat, what not to eat, alcohols you should take, drugs you may want to or may not abuse. Simple things, nothing. I'm not trying to be the preacher. I'm just trying to be like, hey, here's what I noticed. You might want to pay attention to it too. It's not answers on how to survive life in a band. It's tips on how to survive life in a band.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you talked about this progression of music. Now you guys, like, I probably found out about Blackfoot Gypsies 5-6 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Or it was shortly after you did Muddy Roots.
Yes.
That's when I first started listening to your music. And I love the slide guitar, when you have those songs influenced in there. They're just killer, takes you somewhere else. But then you started noticing like this new song you guys have out, one of them, Going to the Woods.
Yeah.
I play clawhammer, a little bit of banjo, so that one really spoke to me.
Yeah.
I'm loving the vibe that it pits off, and then all of a sudden it's like rocking,
Yeah.
What's your influences as far as your style and how you've bridged the gap of so many different genres and actually make it work and not sound like shit?
Right. Well, it doesn't sound like shit now. Again, we've been at it for a while. It was, I was raised by a guy who my dad liked really cool music. So I was lucky to have someone handing me blues and bluegrass, and we would go to bluegrass festivals, and he didn't play too well, but he really liked it. So, bluegrass festival, people are hanging out in the field for 3 days, just picking until the sun comes up, and concerts happen and campfires happen. So this was the environment I was getting taught in. So I've been in love with bluegrass and American country music, blues music, down home Appalachia, whatever, a dude with a stick and a rock. That's my favorite. Sunhouse clapping his hands, Jack White's favorite song. I love that shit. That's where I'm at. And so that mixed with, I was born right there at the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s in the Northwest. So I got Jimi Hendrix and Nirvana and Pearl Jam just in there too. So that leads you into the West Coast, jam band, hippie movement. So I was feeling all, ham hacky sack, tie-dye hippie mixed with down home blues. And I'm just mixing all this shit together. Like I didn't have any cultural influences up in white bread, suburb, Oregon, Vancouver, Washington, so I'm just making all this stuff up, taken from records and just pulling it together. And so I battled between, do I want to be like an acoustic-y mellow guy, or do I want to a lot of my friends were punks, punk rock, hardcore. And so I was like, well, I also like elements of this too. And then when you listen to Bill Monroe and Chuck Berry, you're like, this is secretly like punk rock. Like if these guys were plugged into a stack with a pedal, you're looking at a different thing. So that's when I started tapping into the energy of things. Like, all right, let's go for the energy of the music, not the technicalities per se. It's like, let's tap into that visceral thing that all humans and all music kind of seems to go back to. And so I just took with the stuff that I liked, and I like bluegrass, I'll play that. That's fast. That's kind of like punk. And then I play through an amp and add some drums, and then it's got this whole other energy. So blending these blues and country things along with your natural young man inertia, I don't know, whatever that thing is we all went through, where we want to go fast, loud, and hard. That adding some elements of, I don't know, not just pure crass, hard, loud, fast, but like some artistry to it and human elements instead of just straight punk rock or something.
Right. Yeah. You go through the blends and kind of the breakdowns within the music. I noticed that right away when I put you on at work and stuff. I'd listen, and that's what I was really liking most. I learned
violin and banjo and all these bluegrass instruments. So I'm like, well, I know how to do this. So where to let's put it in there,
Now, I did read that you guys do mostly, it's all you guys. There's no studio artists added in. You picked up a guy to just play this part for you, then, you know what I mean? It's just you, right?
This whole last record we are putting out right now and will be out later on vinyl later this year. This one was all us. We've had in the past recordings some pedal steel, some horns, but most of the time is us. This whole next one is all us. So all the organs and keys and the strings and the backups, vocals, and that's all just the three of us.
Huh. Nice. Do we have a date for that? When's that going to come out?
No, we literally had the last kind of, hey, you want to send over the contract phone call today with the record label we're going to be working with. So he's literally going to be signing his portion, sending it over, I think, tomorrow. And then we're looking at, hopefully September. Okay. So
cool.
But that's been a long, tough journey, I must say, because it's been done since 2018.
Woo.
Christmas.
Oh, yeah, you're dying to get that out there, I'm sure.
Yeah, a little bit.
How do you guys write? You come with individual ideas, you sit around, jam, somebody has a groove, you all kind of fill in on it. What's that like?
Yeah, it kind of goes both ways. Sometimes we'll just be jamming and a riff will happen, and then you can kind of take that and go sit to the writing room and finish it out and put an organization to it. And then I like to bring things back to the jam again and like add something to it and jam it out, see how it feels. It's got to feel right. So a lot of times it'll start off as a riff or and then evolve. And then there's the other kind where you sat and you just wrote the whole thing and like, oh, here it is. And then you just kind of let the music and arrangement evolve in the band setting, but the song's already done in that sense, and Zach and Dylan are both great writers in their own respect. So it's awesome having other people coming to the table with cool song ideas and songs. It challenges you as an accompanist, and also it brings more fun stuff to the table.
Right. Yeah, I can't wait to hear it. Actually, I mean, I'm sure you guys are just thrilled to be back out on the road and performing again in front of live audience. I mean, I could only imagine being an artist sitting out this long.
Yeah. Do you guys play, or do you are you in this boat?
No, we play at home for fun around the campfire. Uh-huh. That's about it.
Yeah. That still counts. But yes, that was our main source of income and livelihood, was going out and playing music. It was a tough grind there right at the end. Things were feeling weird, but having this year off was awesome. I had been on the road for 10 years, pushing it, trying to do it. So to have 1 year of like, oh, this is what it's like to, buy food and put it in your fridge and have a garden and, just like wake up in the same place in the same week. It was nice to have just 1 year of like reset.
Right.
But I do want to go back, and this past weekend of shows we've had has been amazing. And it's been total evidence of people hungry, wanting to be there. It's been awesome. The energy's been amazing.
Yeah.
That's good. I think most people don't want to admit to like having a favorite place to play because it kind of puts everybody else off. But are there spots that you do it like tend to enjoy or look forward to going to?
Yeah, totally. I guess it's just where we've like had a lot of fun and a lot of success, I suppose. Like we just played in Chicago, and that was amazing. We played 2 nights in different places, South Side and like the Northwest side, and great people, great time, great venues. We just played in Asheville, North Carolina. That's a big old mountain town. We played the Gray Eagle. I think that's just a perfect music venue and a perfect place and a perfect town up in the mountains. I like anywhere on the coast, anywhere near the ocean. Playing in California, Oregon, Washington, all that's good when you get to drive along and just see the ocean and feel that. That's pretty cool. Lexington, Kentucky, that's somehow become one of our second homes, and a lot of love. A lot of people come out for those shows, and Nashville. A lot of people have had a lot of tough time in Nashville. Some people can't get out of town friends can't get shows here, or at least when things were normal. they're like, how do we get a show there? I'm like, I don't know. Show up, I guess. You literally and you don't exactly remember it once you're in, but when you're out, it's hard to get in. You don't know where to go. You don't know what club to hit. You don't know who to play with. There's so many bands. You don't know if someone's shysting you or if this is legit. Nashville can be a little deceptive and tricky, but once you're on the inside of this, like, I wouldn't say club or anything, but once you've been like around a little bit, then you're like, oh, okay, you're not a fly by night here to milk it for what it's worth person. You're here to like contribute and be a part of Nashville. So I think there's a strong bullshit sensor here. And and so that means you're either off the handle and you don't give a shit, or you're like trying to have integrity and contribute something worthwhile here.
In anything, really.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So I'll be at the show on Saturday at the Hi-Fi.
Yes.
I don't know if you've played there. Have you been there?
Yeah. Well, we're playing the Hi-Fi Annex, right? That's a different space than the Hi-Fi.
Yeah, it's in the back alley.
yeah. In the back.
Yeah. It's a cool venue. I love it there. They did a really good job navigating through all this COVID stuff and trying to keep music and events going on there outside, keeping people safe. So
right, they had outdoor shows.
Hats off to them. Yeah. And until it got cold, they went as long as they could until the weather got bad.
Right.
And now they're back. So very thrilled.
Yeah.
How's touring with Reverend Peyton? How's that like?
Oh,
are you friends with were you friends with Reverend before touring with him, or?
We had known each other. Well, we'd never been like we never exchanged phone numbers, but we had played a show together 4 or 5 years ago in Nashville, and we had met then, and we're like, hey, nice to meet you. And, I'd known about him for a long time, and major respect for one, creating such a great fan base and doing his own thing, his own way for so long. And they're selling out all these theaters. They just had the #1 blues album on the charts. Like,
yeah,
damn, dude. And and all these places they're playing, they're selling them out, and they're rocking every audience, and it's been fun to see. I love playing with artists or bands that have been doing it longer than you, because you notice these little things that they do that that's not their trick, but it's some of their tricks that, like, oh man, that's how you handle a crazy audience, or that's how you do that.
Another chapter for the tips.
Volume 2.
Yeah. Believe me, I regularly keep at. There's going to be a volume 2. I guess in just another 10 years or so. Yeah. Latest tip is, when you're not using your van in, let's say, a pandemic or something, don't park it near the woods, because your soy coated wires in the bottom of your car that's warm. Squirrels love that. Squirrels love to get up in that warm car and eat your wires. And sometimes they're, I don't know, really expensive.
Yeah, I saw that post you made about terrible things. Yeah, man, that was rough. That was a rough one. Like, all right, really? This is how we're gonna get back into this, huh? Okay. Okay.
I want to ask about a feel song that I like. It's probably already it's a top 3 or 4 Christmas songs. Santa Claus is Dead. I normally listen to the Elvis Christmas album, and that's it. But this one, it's got that groove part with the scratching going on. How'd that come together?
Good. I thought it was the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
The scratching. Can I tell you about the scratching?
Oh yeah.
So Zach got this hand-me-down drum machine that one of our friends runs an estate sale company, and they pull whatever they can for us. And like, hey, we found this weird 90s drum machine. Do you want it? Like, so it has the scratch pad on it, so you can go beep on it, and that's the sound.
That is awesome.
And it's so kind of cheesy and terrible. And if you hear, like, there's one just break where it's just like right before it goes into the rocking again, and there's just one squeak, just all by itself. And we were rolling on the ground at how funny that was. Just this one isolated squeak, and how how bad it sounded, but we were just having too much fun so that's the Squigget, and we were really on a Beastie Boys kick to begin with, so like, where should we go with this? Let's go there.
Amazing.
I felt the influence of the Beastie Boys in there. I told Garrett as soon as, like, you gotta hear that song.
Instant Christmas classic. I know this.
Look out, Mariah.
So
Right.
will you play that outside of the holidays?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, why not? If somebody comes up and is like, hey, it's the 4th of July, play that Christmas one. Like, okay, deal.
Nice.
When we toured with The Darkness, they have a Christmas song, and they do their tour every what their schedule was. They would tour the month before Christmas, the 7 weeks leading up to Christmas, and their Christmas song was like, and now for our Christmas time, the one time a year we get back into the charts. Like, wow, that's kind of smart. Look at that, because you don't have to do any work, and then everybody listens to your song once a year. I'm like, okay.
They say if you can write a song that is super specific to like one situation, like it would be in every movie about that situation or every TV show about that situation. Everybody just needs to get one of those.
Yes. Yeah.
Be set for life then.
It's true. Clever songwriting can really set you apart.
Yeah.
We're working on that.
So what else can you tell us about the new record that we're going to be waiting for till September or so? How many songs we got on it and things like that?
There are 13 songs. We wanted to just deliver this, since this is the first album under the new name. We kind of wanted to just deliver a bunch of songs, like almost just the groundwork. We're not going to get artsy and do a 13-minute feedback song. We might do that on the third album or something. So we just wanted to deliver songs. So we took the best 13 songs that we had 2 years ago and put them all together. We got, I think, 3 or 4 Dylan songs. We got 1 Zach song, and then the rest are my songs. And but we all collaborated musically on them, and we recorded it all at Sputnik Studios in Nashville, which is where Vance Powell records. Jack White records all of his stuff there, and Vance Powell is his engineer. And Vance Powell's right-hand man is Mike Fahey, who recorded our stuff. And we used it in the off hours. And so we basically were trying to, we got all of Vance's gear and mics and know-how of this guy who, learned all of his tricks and got to share them with us at a fraction of the cost. But his Grammys, sitting on the shelf, and there's the bench tape that says, vocals mic from Jack White's records and C6 Steve and all these other people who've been through there. And there's so much mojo in that studio. It's really, really cool. And it backs right up to a graveyard where Porter Wagner and George Jones and Johnny Paycheck are all buried, to name a few.
Yeah.
So it's got some extra of that going on.
I'm writing that down. I visit graves, so I gotta stop there.
Yes, they have a map for all the stars. There's a bunch, cool. But George Jones bought a huge plot of land there for all of his musician friends that couldn't afford burials and graves. Yes, what a guy. So awesome. There's George Jones's big arch, him and his wife buried right there. Beautiful grave for him. And then a nice big plot for it's mostly empty because I guess they're still alive. But Johnny Paycheck he didn't have any money when he died, so he's right there. And a few other guys, like even some sports guys, like his friends, he made sure that they had space. So that's right there in Berry Hill. I forget the name of that cemetery, but there's some really good cemeteries in Nashville if you're into music graves.
For sure. Let's talk about the art on these singles. At least, is that going to carry over to the album? Who does the art for those?
Yeah, her name's Anna Pollock, and we met her out on. We did the last West Coast tour. The furthest west we went. We got onto a ferry in Seattle and went to Bainbridge Island, and the restaurant that we played at, where they move all the tables and chairs out of the way. And there's this one groovy looking lady there, and she had tattoos and looked like, oh, you're one of us. And so it was immediately like, what's up? And she's just this amazing painter, illustrator, artist. She's got the gift. And so we became instant friends, and I just asked her to start doing art for us. And like, well, we need a picture, we needed this, we needed that. We have a whole, she did a whole comic book for us that we have to fill in and color in and like finish. But in her own right, she's just this amazing artist. And through just us working with her work is spread around to all these other artists, and she's got murals up on the side of buildings now. And it's like, damn, yes.
That's awesome.
So it's really, we send her ideas and she does her cool interpretation of them. And that's kind of, she's like our Ralph Steadman, to the Hunter Thompson kind of thing.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Back country here.
It's true. Yeah, she gets it. She's full on in the know.
That's awesome.
So what, from where you are now with the name change?
Yes.
How different overall is the music? Why the change?
Well, the music isn't so different. We're still on our journey as musicians and people, combining our influences and doing our thing. That part has not changed. We simply changed the name because as a 19-year-old young man naming his band after his favorite things, you don't realize that some words are offensive in other parts of the world. And so after touring lots of parts of the world and gathering opinions and thoughts and yeses and nos from both points of these cultures, and like I got to the point where, years ago, it took a while, I'll explain that in a second, but years ago we're like, we just don't want this to be part of the equation anymore. Like, I don't want
that's not what you want people to think about when they're hearing your music. So
no. I mean, I was taught violin by a Hungarian gypsy man, and I was raised in the woods by Native Americans, so I named it after those things. And I thought I was being like nice, but you learn, and I just didn't want to offend anyone. If I wanted to offend someone, I would much rather be deliberate about it. I don't want to be accidentally insulting some people that I was trying to admire and represent and keep their names on the tongues of people so that they, weren't forgotten. But that's not my place as a white person. So I still love and cherish their cultures, and that's why we made the long, hard decision of, let's just not do that anymore and pick a word and pick a thing that isn't anything and fill it in with who we are. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Make that your own. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, DeeOhGee is it's sort of spelled out dog. Yeah, but it's not really anything. It doesn't make your mind immediately go to something necessarily. I had one person like, right. I was like, I had one person like, I just realized your band spells out dog. I'm like,
what were they saying then? I don't know how to pronounce this band's name.
It didn't click that it was like they were saying letters. I suppose they just thought it was a funny name, like, oh, okay. And then, so I'm just glad to know that it's not immediately going into someone's head and they're just, have a cartoon of a dog in their head. It hits everyone different. And hopefully we will be the thing that they think of when this name has been around longer than just 6 months. So
that's cool.
We're filling it with us now. So that's the reason behind the name change. It was just like,
okay. I kind of figured something like that, but
it just took a long time because you get booked or you're in a contract with something 6 months down the line, and then you're already on the bill. They already have the printed posters, and then that leads to another 6 months down the line, and you're stuck for a year or so. And meanwhile, people on Twitter are just tearing you apart. The anger. Why didn't you Google this name before you picked it? Or like, that's a good question, I suppose, but I didn't think if I Googled it, it would say, don't name your band this. I don't know.
Right.
You live and you learn. And so we lost a whole bunch of fans who were like, I was like, really? You were following us just for the name? Like, that's why you like us? Okay. Well, if you were following us for the name and you're mad that we're having cultural sensitivity, then please leave.
Mm-hmm.
Please leave. Yes, we're not your band.
Yeah. Some people are they're afraid of change is all the only thing I can see in it. But
it was a real hot moment too, in the middle of the year, and Lady Antebellum, and there's some other bands, and like it was. I feel like it happened at a time although years ago we decided we wanted to do this, it happened at a time when we took advantage of the time of being down and no bookings, and we just been dropped from our booking agency. Our old record label had just run out, and it was like, okay, we can do this now. Now's the time to do it.
Now's the time. Yeah. So yeah,
I feel like some people thought we were jumping on the socially kind train, like that's a bad thing. Like it was a sign of weakness or something. And so you just got to deal with that. Well, you're in the public eye, so whatever. People are gonna have opinions about you. That's part of the deal.
Yep.
Right. We have like a fast question answer sort of deal.
All right.
No, they don't have to be fast. We can
Sure.
well, there's no time limits. We break the rules here.
I like it.
So I'll start us off. What's an artist that you would like to work with potentially, or somebody that you could see yourself working with?
Eagles of Death Metal. What some of those guys, either Jesse or the other guy, Josh Homme. Yeah, they get it. I feel like them and Willie Nelson. I just want to do anything that has to do with Willie Nelson. I hope to do anything with him.
That's a good one.
Willie's awesome. Seen him a couple times.
Yeah.
All right, next one. If you had to pick one, this is an ongoing thing between Justin and I trying to settle a bet. Beatles.
It's not a bet. Come
Well,
on.
We could bet something on it. Beatles or Stones, if you had to pick one.
Stones. There.
Justin
There.
got another
I
one.
won the bet.
It's an ongoing thing.
It is ongoing. If Dylan were here, it'd be Beatles, and so you'd have it, and then Zach might be on the fence. But if it comes down pound for pound, song for song, time for time, I'm gonna have more fun listening to Stones albums than I will to Beatles albums.
That's fair.
There's my answer. But I love both of
fair.
them. So tough question, damn it, guys.
We're bringing
That's
the
what
heat.
we're all about.
Yeah. Hot questions.
Okay, here's another one. Guilty pleasure. Either a song or an artist, someone you listen to that somebody else probably wouldn't think you listen to.
My favorite guilty band, it's not that guilty, but they're called the Ting Tings. I don't really listen to them that much, but when they were coming out and doing all these songs, they're like kind of like poppy electro songs.
Yeah.
And they're impressively complex and kind of amazing.
Never heard of them.
That's not my name.
Yeah.
My name is Stacy. Yeah. If you listen to that song, there are chord changes going on that's like, there's another level here. And it's a silly song, but all their songs have this element of like sophistication to them. So Ting Tings, I vote.
Hey.
He was ready for it too. That was good. Okay, it sounds like you picked up a few things playing wise growing up. But if you could wake up tomorrow with the knowledge to play an instrument that you don't play, you can play it flawlessly, what would you pick?
Clarinet.
Why?
Clarinet, really?
Yes, brother.
Because it's the only thing you can't play at this point?
New Orleans, jazz, Benny Goodman,
okay.
wailing clarinet. My mom's from New Orleans. I grew up on New Orleans music. It's in me, and my brother played clarinet, and I love Benny Goodman and his orchestra and that whole thing. And just the way they could wail and just rip on these clarinets, I want to do that, and I will. I just have
to hold you to it.
Half the battle's buying one and then practicing somewhere where you won't annoy anyone. So
yeah,
gotta buy the clarinet and then go to the woods daily.
Amazing.
Space out.
Yeah.
Okay. The last one here. If you had a Saturday night all to yourself, what would you consider just a good ass time? What would you want to do with your time?
If I'm by myself, then I'd probably make something. I'd probably make a hat or a jacket or cook some good food, watch a movie, hang out camping. If I'm with people, I want to play music. I think playing music is way better than TV or the radio or anything like that. Which is cool that my friends want to do that too. Like when you get us together, a guitar comes out, a song starts happening. So that's a good idea for me on a Saturday night, is playing music with your friends and getting silly and just dancing around your house and like having like a real organic, pure, no screens, weirdly organic, raw, good time. That's what I try to bring to our shows, is the visceral, that's the word, visceral good time feeling of like, it doesn't matter who you are, what you're into. Like, this is just a good, positive thing, and it has nothing to do with anything besides just feeling good and positive vibrations. So that's
a good answer. I'm with you, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, something. Even if I'm by myself and bored, I can have a party by myself. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. I usually hang out by myself, honestly. I don't hang out with like, I'll hang out with people one-on-one, but I'm not like a group person, you know. Mm-hmm. I make hats for my side business, so I've been making hats this whole pandemic. That's been I'm in my hat shop right now. These are my hats.
Oh, nice.
And so my mom taught me how to sew, and so I've been making stuff, and that's been really fun and satisfying, because some people work in like the bank or a coffee shop where you're in between their money and they're not happy to see you. You're in between you and their coffee. They're not pumped about you. But a hat, they're pumped from the time they talk to you to the time they get it to the time you're making it. It's like just you're making happiness, and you're sending it to them, and then they're happy, and then you get paid.
They send you the pictures back wearing it and all that.
Yeah, they're smiling, like hugging their dog with their hat. Like, this is awesome. This is awesome. Someone's giving a parking ticket right now, getting like dodging rocks, and that's their job.
Yeah.
So I feel pretty blessed to people have been interested in them enough to buy them, and then it's been enough to support me to stay afloat during the time we couldn't play music, doing something else creative and fun.
Yeah, that's great.
Will those be available at the merch booth this Saturday?
No. I make them like one at a time, and they're all custom. Each one's custom. I have a really long waiting list, and I hardly ever, I've done like a few pop-ups here and there, but it's like, then you have to like make them and hope they fit someone, and then people don't buy them, and then you just have them. So no, it's not exactly a quantity merch thing, but I'll make you one. I'll put you on the list. It'll take me 5 months to get to, but I will get there.
You make anything out of fur?
Yeah. I use all upcycled, I say upcycled, but all stuff people were going to throw away. Jackets, bed sheets.
Anything.
This was an old Pendleton blanket. These are my fabrics.
I was going to say that print on there looked familiar.
All these are all fabrics I've collected. And this is a Pendleton blanket. I'm obsessed with Pendleton. I'm from Oregon. What are you going to do?
Right.
And wool. Wool is I love me some wool.
I might have to bring you like a coyote hide or a fox hide or something on Saturday.
Yeah.
Draw up a plan.
I've made a few fur hats that are kind of like, Davy Crockett hats, but I made one out of a skunk, and I made one out of a possum.
Nice.
That's awesome. Pretty sick. You have to send me pictures of those, because I'm serious. I might get one.
Yeah.
I do taxidermy for a living, so
oh really?
All kinds of weird stuff like that.
Love that.
So it's fun to get creative.
It sure is. Are you both in Indianapolis? Is that where you're at?
Yeah,
just south,
roughly, just south of there.
Cool. I got some friends there that run the Black Circle Brewery. You know about that place?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Those are some of the early supporters of us. I think the first year or something we were a band, they had us up to their land in up near Fort Wayne.
Yep.
And love me some Indianapolis now.
That's good.
Yeah, we got a decent area for music. I'm just kind of goes hand in hand with the crossroads of America. It only makes sense. Somebody traveling or touring has to stop through here.
It's true. Yeah, you're in a good spot for that. You're there. You're in the way there.
You you got any instruments nearby you can play us something?
Yeah, sure. Here, let me
Catch you off guard?
Let me grab a guitar real quick.
Oh, awesome.
I've also been collecting these weird old Silvertone guitars and old Sears guitars. This is one of them, and I've been repairing them. And I was supposed to sell them, but that part's hard to do. Anyway,
What year was it?
50s. Oh, did you say Sears? Like Sears and Roebuck?
Yes. Yes. I like to play old guitars, and I love the old American-made catalog guitars. Airline, Silvertone, Harmony is some of my favorites. And so I just keep an eye out, and when we're on the road, I buy whatever ones I can. Usually when someone's like, hey, my uncle died and had this guitar under his bed, and I'm like, thank you. I'll play a song called "Lay It On Down," and this will be on the next album, and it's a waltz. It's sort of like country waltz, and this one's about your friends. You got poison and you're down again. Well, I've been there, man. I got a few choice words for you, and I'll tell you the truth. If you got pain on your mind, lay it all down. You're a friend of mine. If you got trouble on your mind, lay it on down. You're a friend of mine. Lay it on down. You're a friend of mine. Well, your brain's looking full like it might overflow. Tell me, where will it go? Ain't nothing worth hurting anyone again. Baby, I am your friend. If you've got pain on your mind, lay it on down. You're a friend of mine. If you've got trouble on your mind, lay it on down. You're a friend of mine. Lay it on down. You're a friend of mine. Yeah, I may not have been there, but I'm here for you now. And I'm sorry you got hurt. If you're ever in doubt, then I'll help you out. We're all made out of dirt. If you got pain on your mind, lay it on down. You're a friend of mine. If you got trouble on your mind, lay it on down. You're a friend of mine. Lay it on down. You're a friend of mine. Lay it on down. You're a friend of mine. Lay it on down. You're a friend of mine.
Love it.
That's it. All right. He already wrote one, I guess. That's like a road trip, leaving your friend or coming back to your friend. That's it.
There
Yeah,
it is.
I'm requesting that one Saturday, just so you know. So be
You
ready.
got it.
I'm
You
sure
got
you're
it.
probably already playing it since it's new. but
it sounds pretty good with the whole band too. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a slower song, and when you're opening, you only have 30, 40 minutes. So it's like, all right, what does this crowd need? Do they need a slow song from the opening band? I don't know. But since I know you're going to be there, then I'll be sure to throw it in there,
yes.
Lay it on down. Lay it down. Just say that, because I get a little scatterbrained up there and I forget. So just yell it at me and I will play.
I'm just going to make a 6-foot poster board out there in the middle of the crowd.
It's like,
you'll see me.
They know all of our unreleased songs. This crowd's good.
Heck yeah.
They know what's coming.
All right, Matthew. We won't take any more of your time. I appreciate you joining us, man. We're
and Garrett, thanks for having me, and thanks for helping spread the word of people's music and all that stuff.
Tell the people where to find you.
Yeah, we're on most of the socials, Instagram and Facebook, all at DeeOhGee, DeeOhGee, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and TikTok. You can go to our website, DeeOhGee.org. We're an organization.
.org.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
.com was taken. And you can sign up for our mailing list, and we only send you interesting things about when we're playing in videos and such and such. But just give it a good give it a Google or on Instagram or Facebook, and I post every day something that we're up to, because we're active like that.
Nice.
Perfect. Got to keep them engaged.
Heck yeah. Well, we'll be in touch, and maybe when the album finally drops, we'll have you on again or something. Maybe the band can join you and do a little album review or something.
That'd be awesome. And I'll see you guys next weekend.
Yeah, this weekend.
This weekend, yeah.
All right, man.
All right,
see
boys. Take care. Thank you.
You.
Bye.
Bye.